All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at
Okay.
diplomacy. Um, we've got a
Yeah.
really interesting excerpt here about the subtle art of getting what you want.
Oh,
And
this
I think
sounds really good.
yeah, it's going to be useful. It's going to be helpful. So,
I love this stuff.
yeah, me too. So to start off, like when you think about diplomacy,
Mm-hmm.
what comes to mind?
Well, I think most people, when they think about diplomacy, they think about international relations and like
Big fans.
huge treaties
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like peace treaties and stuff like that.
okay.
But what's really fascinating is that diplomacy is a skill set that's been honed over centuries. And it was im- initially used to navigate these really complex relationships between countries. So imagine like
Oh, yeah,
you've got kings and emperors all over the place, each ruling their own little domains,
yeah.
And these are strong personalities, easily bruised egos.
Oh, for sure.
Back then, if they had just like directly confronted each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
that could have been
It would have
chaos.
been a mess. So they needed like a way to talk to each other
Exact.
without accidentally, starting a war or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like without, causing a major international incident.
Right, right.
And that's where emissaries come in.
Okay.
And they were like the original diplomats. Their whole job was to deliver these messages in a way that like minimized the risk of offense and just like kept those lines of communication open even when things were really tense.
So basically preventing like a medieval battle or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty intense. But like, okay, I'm not a king. I'm not an emperor.
Right.
I'm not negotiating treaties here. How does this actually apply to like my everyday life?
Yeah, that's a great question. So think of it this way.
Okay.
Diplomacy at its core is really about advocating for your needs and your perspective while also acknowledging the other person's point of view.
Okay.
It's about achieving your goals while also preserving relationships. I mean, we all have those moments, right?
Oh, yeah,
You have a disagreement with a coworker,
for sure.
maybe a tense conversation with a family
Right,
member.
all the time.
And diplomacy gives us the tools to kind of navigate those situations more effectively.
So it's like instead of charging into these conversations, swords blazing, I should be thinking more like a diplomat.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about being more strategic and thoughtful.
Okay, I like it.
And, going back to those kings and emperors, imagine them like furious in their palaces, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they're sending their diplomats to negotiate in these calm, measured tones.
That's a powerful image.
It is. It's like they understood that controlling those emotions
Right.
was actually the key to getting what they wanted.
That makes a lot of sense. But okay, let's get practical here.
Okay.
What are some actual diplomatic strategies that I could use in, say, like a tricky conversation with my boss?
Oh, yeah. Well, one core principle of diplomacy is this idea of reciprocity.
Okay.
It's the give and take, finding that common ground. For example, instead of just launching straight into a demand,
Yeah.
you could start by offering something helpful to your boss,
Okay.
showing your willingness to contribute. That sets a more collaborative tone.
So it's almost like I'm offering a peace offering before I present my, list of demands.
In a way, yeah, but it's not about manipulation. It's about demonstrating that you understand their perspective and you're trying to foster a more cooperative environment.
That makes sense, but doesn't that risk me appearing weak if I'm always trying to be so diplomatic?
That's a good point.
Like, don't I need to stand my ground sometimes?
Absolutely. Diplomacy isn't about being passive. It's about choosing your battles wisely. Sometimes a firm stance is totally necessary.
Okay.
But even then, you can express your disagreement in a way that respects the other person and avoids unnecessary escalation. It's about being assertive, not aggressive.
Yeah, I see the difference. This is starting to make sense to me.
Good.
So diplomacy isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's also about understanding, like, the complexities of human nature.
Yes.
We all have these egos and biases and emotional triggers that can derail a conversation.
Exactly. And if we can recognize those complexities both in ourselves and in others, we can approach those disagreements with more empathy and understanding.
Yeah, I could see how that would be helpful. So next time I'm facing a challenging conversation, I should just imagine, those kings in their palaces
There you go.
and try to channel my inner diplomat, keep things true and considered
Exactly.
to help me get what I want without all the drama.
That's the art of diplomacy, my friend.
I love it.
It's a powerful tool for anyone who wants to build stronger relationships, navigate challenging situations, and ultimately achieve their goals without resorting to all-out war.
So much better than storming the castle.
Way better.
Makes you wonder how many everyday conflicts could be resolved if we all just used a little bit more diplomatic finesse.
That's a great question to think about.
Some food for thought. All right, everybody, that is it for our deep dive today. Thanks so much for listening.